Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Eye on Icon, where we go around the ecosystem and give everyone the latest and greatest icon related news, right? Not snow, icon. And with me, Digital Dave, how are you, man?
Hey Fez, thanks. I'm doing great, and I can't wait to do our circle around the Icon ecosystem. How are you today?
Good, good. Well, as usual, very quick episode, right? Yeah.
Damn, we're gonna be so fast.
Oh, you know it. When we say stuff like this, expect an hour and a half. So let's dive straight in, David. Markets. Okay, so let's before we look at ICX, let's look at what's Twitter sentiment been like. I don't know. There's not been much there, is it?
It hasn't. Unsure about that one actually, but I have dipped into the Icon Discord's TA club, and what I read there is that this week is going to be big, not just for Icon, but for Bitcoin and the whole sector, because we've been trading sideways for a couple of weeks, I reckon now. But this is a big week because of the publishing of consumer confidence numbers on Tuesday. This is CARP 32 in the TA club on the Icon Discord. On Wednesday, a Federal Reserve meeting, and on Thursday, the second quarter economic growth numbers. So these are big publishings of economic macro data, I'd say, and markets will either react to that or they won't. But the expectation is that they will, and then the big question is, will they go up or down?
Interesting. Well, look, we did have a small breakout actually, David. Like on the dailies, we went from the low of 19,032 for Bitcoin all the way up to, well, above 24,000, and now we've been seeing a bit of a correction. But
Right.
yes, look, interesting times.
Yeah, we could make a little bet, you and me. Are we going to be up by the episode next week, or are we going to be down?
I'm gonna say down because everything's down, and I'm feeling gloomy at the moment. So yeah,
Right.
down, down.
Okay, I'm gonna double down on that and say down, down. So I think everything's gloomier than you think,
Oh,
and it possibly will go lower than you think.
damn, do you want a times 50 leverage trade on that since we're two for two?
No, I just want to be surprised.
Okay.
I want to be positively surprised. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. So Bitcoin at the moment is 21,000. Ethereum is sitting at 1,400, and Icon is sitting at 26 cents. As you can see over here, we had a low of, ooh, wow, we went down close to 23 or something cents. Didn't know that. Okay, so everything's bleeding though. Like, I even Dot and Kusama, if anyone's interested. Kusama, you can clearly see when the snow crowd loan kicked off, and a few things that transpired with that. What an eventful crowd loan it was. But you can see we've had such an impact on the KSM price. It went from a low of 47 all the way up to $69. Oh, everything seems to cap out at 69. What's going on? Yes, so interesting. We'll touch on that soon, but that's how the markets are looking very quickly. Now let's dive into the news. What is the first thing we've got? Balanced.
Balanced, pushing through those updates. Continuous network fees are live, so this means that you can actually watch and see your network fees grow as you've staked your balance into the platform. You can claim them at any time if there's a positive balance. So you don't have to wait till a certain point during the day. It used to be my 7 o'clock in the evening, and that's usually when the help the help channels would get flooded with people asking about reverted transactions, and the answer would always be, well, that's because in this hour of the day we pay out all the network fees, and that's why the platform kind of goes down in a way. That's a thing of the past now. So your network fees will accumulate in real time, and you can see that in the platform. So that's one of the big updates that have been talked about for a long while, and now it's here. So that's great. It paves the way for more. And I saw another very interesting piece of balanced news. Actually, like, I don't think we even have it in our shortlist. It's the NFTs.
Oh, David, you underestimate me. Boom.
Right? So, Balanced is launching an NFT collection, and I'm unsure about the specifics. All I know is that it says there 50% of the profits will go into the DAO fund, the balanced DAO fund. You tell me more, or do I
No, look,
overestimate you?
I actually, so I was gonna on Parrot Nine's tweet, I was gonna put what else, what other utility does the NFT have? But you know what, I didn't want to rain on the parade. I thought it was quite cool, so I went to Scott, and he wasn't across. You know, Scott's across too much, so he was like, Parrot Nine have been running with this from a balance perspective. I would have loved to see personally some utility. I was actually on a call with the monks just before, and something Stephen, wise Stephen I call him, pointed out to me was anything utility based, because now these protocols are live, would have to get voted in via the DAO. So that makes sense why I guess there's no utility. In this case, the biggest utility is 50% of the profits is going back to the DAO fund. And to be very clear, the DAO fund, not to worker tokens, not to the founders, or what are they called? The people who build the protocols. It's going to the actual
Early
fund.
contributors.
Early contributors. I always go amiss with that. But yes, that's going to the DAO fund. And to the earlier point, David, just going back, network, we were talking about balance. Remember, everyone, this is network fees, not rewards, not the distribution of the balance token itself. This is strictly around network fees. I didn't realize this though. If you haven't, underneath that tweet there was a you can't, when the transition happened, you can't claim your past fees. It's only, it transitioned, and then anything from that moment, it would then update live. So if you did have fees, make sure you click on this on the tweet. Go to Balanced and find the tweet, and it's the second tweet that it gives you the claim link that you can claim past fees from. I just noticed that while we were giving the update, so I thought I better circle around and give everyone that.
Very well. I didn't even know this, and I think it's a very good tip. I'm sure that if I hit that link, there might be some outstanding fees, as I never really claim.
David, after today, never hear from him because he's claimed his fee and he's declared a retirement.
I wish.
Okay, so yes, the NFTs is something just hot off the press. Yes, if there's something we've missed, if Parrot 9 still do listen to the show, please, love to have you on the show, giving a bit of an update on things y'all are working on, including that super secret project that hasn't come out yet, that they have been hinting about for a long time. So this is how you do it, David. This is how you get the alpha or put the pressure on the teams to dish it.
I've never heard of this super secret project, and I'm now
You got to
eager.
go back. When I had them on the show the first time, yes, they almost let slip, but didn't do it. They didn't let it out. Okay, shall we keep hovering along?
Roll it.
Okay, so this is B. So we know Boosted Ohm is out. We've talked about it a few times in the show. I actually wanted to talk about it a little more in detail, but I'm just going to touch on it, and I'm going to give everyone a bit of a challenge or a kind of task, if you want. But I encourage everyone to do it because it will be quite beneficial. But first things first, so we can see that this is 2.5 days. It's been out for much longer now, but close to 40% have locked. The people who have locked, 40% of them have locked their supply up for 4 years. I am one of those degens. Congratulations, everyone. And so we can see the boosted models really coming into effect at the moment. David, I can see you itching.
No, not at all. I was just listening to you, and I was thinking to myself, how is Fez gonna mix the NFT ohm wheel of names into this? Into this
I completely
introduction?
forgot about the NFT wheel of games. Oh my god! Okay, I'm glad you actually brought that up.
Keep going, keep going.
So look, overall, this is a bit of a celebration. The boosted ohm is a success. I definitely count it as a success. I had ohm tokens. I didn't feel they were working with me. I didn't want to dump. What was the point at the current prices either? Anyway, given I see the protocol being quite young. So from an opportunity perspective, I don't care about the 4 years, but the boosted effects it's given me, I all of a sudden have a ridiculous say on where I want votes to go for ICX. At the moment, per boosted ohm gives ICX to where you want to nominate it. Remember, over balanced instead of balanced, the SICX on Ohm, you can then use the Ohm tokens to delegate it to the validators you choose. And if you want, you can go to Framed, you can go to Gangstabet, and you can pick up the additional rewards that they're giving for staking to their nodes. This is the easiest way for you to bank tokens off different protocols that are distributing for voting on their nodes. Hey, I'm just saying it. If you haven't figured it out, make sure you do. Start asking questions. You need to get on top of this. David, I'm guessing you're staked with, you got Ohm. You went degen 4 years and it's delegated to Framed and Gangstabet, or are you not going to do
3 months, Fez? I went 3 months.
No, I swear I totally twisted your arm into 4 years.
Okay, a little bit went into 4 years.
Haha.
And it all went to Framed and Gangstabet. Why?
Okay.
Because they give you these token rewards, and I think at the end of the day, people will always choose what rewards them best. That might be a bit of an issue that I'm touching off of here.
Yes.
But I voted for Framed and Gangstabet, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, each their own. I used to distribute my votes as well, but on the own platform, again, yeah, I've managed to get quite a say, and I also delegate to FOMO and a few others that I feel have been doing a great job across the ecosystem. But let's not get into where you vote. I was just curious. I think there's opportunity. People, if you stay active, you can use your various. Ohm is unique. Like I said, curve wars, they're all battling for max curve tokens. In Ohm, you're now battling for maximized yield across the money market, which is just the distribution of Ohm, and actually the interest rates that you get on the Ohm protocol, which I was unclear last time when we spoke, but I have since then been doing lots of investigations and trials, and I've realized that if you've locked for 4 years a decent stash of Ohm, remember everyone's stash is different, it will give you different rates, but if you have a decent stash over $1,000, let's say, of Ohm locked up, it will give you quite a decent rate on your money market and liquidity pools. For example, David, what is it? I'm able to borrow balanced BNUSD, sorry, not balance, BNUSD, and after I've done a 4-year boost, it is paying me at an APR of 35% to borrow BNUSD. Hey, you didn't hear it here. How do you do it? You're going to have to figure it out. It's quite easy. Shh, I've said too much. There goes our interest rates. But, okay, look. Let's pause and do the Wheel of Fortune. No, it's not Wheel of Fortune or Misfortune. I've seen everyone use this. We're just trying to pick some winners. Do you want to give the spiel, David? What is this about?
Absolutely.
Monks?
Yeah, no problem. So the Ohm monks are rewarding platform engagement through their Discord, and if you engage with them, posting comments and whatnot, you can win NFT prizes. Now, we've got a lot of NFT prizes, and we have a lot of people who've engaged in the past. So Fez is just going to spin a wheel, pick a prize for today. It's a Project Nebula pack.
3. Okay.
I'm not sure what's in the pack. I can only imagine maybe a planet, a couple of spaceships, maybe the other way around, a couple of consumables, as they're called, a bit of fuel, a bit of industry credits, all those sweet space items that you can find in Project Nebula. And we're going to give this away. Yep. It's an NFT, or they're NFTs. And here we have a wheel of names, and every time the name hits, we're going to get rid of it. So we're going to spin this a bunch of times. I'm sorry, Halo. You're out throughout the episode. So we'll do 3 spins now. We've just done 1. We'll do another one. And then we'll just spin this wheel.
I'm sorry.
Until we have one name left at the end, is it?
Yeah. We should slip our names in there and see if anyone notices.
I need to engage more.
Oh, that's right. Damn, I just don't do enough. Okay, what? Remove James. Sorry. 1 and the final one. And then we'll get back to the news. I know. If you listen to the
seeing
podcast,
double names on this wheel of misfortune, then that's because these users have engaged exquisitely.
Who just, even though it says you're a winner, really you're not? Who's out, Dave?
Paul Adam 15 is out. Okay, so let's move on.
Let's move on. Okay, so So we've covered all the OM news, and in there you heard me talk about ways you can get sensational rates even if you're borrowing. Next up, what have we got? Craft. Okay. David, are you across the craft news?
Yeah, it's interesting. The Craft launch pad, it has a couple of great features, and it's something that the Stakey team is working on. They're the main team building Craft. Essentially, I think it's all captured in that first tweet. Just read it out loud. The Craft Launchpad will allow creators to list and promote their NFT pre-sale. Crafters will be able to search for the next NFT gem here. So what's going to happen is collections before they launch will have a place to show themselves off, to have organize a pre-sale, and I think they even get a website sorted out for them, kind of like a pre-built website. And if you want to know what that looks like, I believe the Alter NFT project is one of the first, if not the first, to actually use this functionality. So I've seen comments on there we go. I've seen comments on the Alter website, people saying that it looks so good, and I agree. I remember seeing this for the first time. I thought, hey, that's slick. Like, it's, I don't know, it's just sort of minimalism mixed with functionality. I just liked it. You know, it's straightforward. Only to realize afterwards. Sorry.
Here you go.
Yeah. It's on screen. I realized afterwards that this is actually the probably like the Craft Launchpad white label website. So, you know, Fez, if you and I decide to launch an NFT project tomorrow, we don't have to figure out how to build a website. We don't have to figure out how to do smart contracts. What we can do is use the Craft Launchpad, get our collection up there, get a website where people can participate in the free pre-sale, not a free sale, of course, and then we can sell our NFTs. I'm just not sure what our NFTs should be yet.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, we need to think of something. Well, we do have those Iron Icon NFTs that are still sitting there. You know, it would be cool to add some utility to it. We've got to sit in a room and think of some ideas. Luckily, though, David, we're meeting up at where are we going? We're going to get together and.
Well, we've decided to meet halfway, as we're both on different sides of the world. So there's this little town in South Korea. Might have heard of it before. It's called Seoul, and it has great meeting rooms. So we've decided to both do our part and fly into Seoul next week, sit down, and talk about all things NFTs, aren't we?
Yep. Looking forward to it. That's all. We're flying there, not going to the conference. We're just going to hash out this NFT, utility package for Iron Icon, and then come back. But look, yes, this is great. It's meant to be click of a button. So anyone, you, me, someone who's used the internet for the first time, maybe not them, but someone proficient in computer management and you using it in some way, shape or form should be able to, and obviously knows a little bit about Web3 and the basics, should be able to deploy their own NFT collection. I did not realize they had already been using this, Alter had been using it. So this is quite cool and I love it. One other part is what I did like about this. If you actually look, they note that they essentially KYC the project, but they don't dox them. So it's just docs to it's being not KYC, sorry. So the projects that launch using the Launchpad will be privately doxed to the Craft team to ensure safe mint. I saw this and I actually quite like it. I mean, each to their own, but I like the idea that at least there's some kind of quality control there. I hope they do a little bit more than just going, yep, I know who you are, yay. But overall, it's cool that there's some kind of responsibility being put on to who can come into and take part in this click of a button Launchpad.
Yeah. It is hard. What are you going to do? Hire a private investigator every time someone wants to launch a collection, NFT collection? You're not. So there's kind of like, but it goes a long way that for me, knowing that the Craft team knows who these people are that are launching, it just has that little element of accountability. and sure, in the greater scheme of things, it might be bypassed by bad actors, because just like everything in the world, systems can be bypassed. But I like that this is in place as opposed to nothing.
Yeah.
It just stops like opportunists.
From?
Well, like you and me.
Yes.
It stops anonymous opportunists of simply copying a collection from OpenSea, deploying their smart contracts through the launchpad here, getting their website up, and start selling off that new collection. Because there's just that extra step that you need to be privately doxed by the craft team, and that could take up to, I don't know, 24 hours, 48, 72, maybe an entire week. And that's a shield for people thinking to make a quick buck. It's a shield for bots.
Yeah.
There you go.
All good points. Excellent. Okay. Let's keep moving on. So, okay, Optimus. So they have created a claim all button. And basically, if you're taking part in all their strategies, then there's a basically claim all button for all the rewards. Now, that's one bit of news. The second bit of news, you did hear this first from me in the last episode, although we have had a bit of a short break. Mind you, working hard, but short break from delivering these episodes. I did call out as soon as Boosted Ohm came into play, I noticed the strategies weren't doing much on Optimus because the entire model had changed. So I suggested to everyone that your Ohm isn't working for you on Optimus Finance. If you want it to work for you, pull it out of the strategies and then do whatever you feel is right. The protocol themselves have actively told everyone to start withdrawing their Ohm from, if you have it in FinOhm or Ohm, remove it because it's not doing anything there due to Boosted Ohm and the strategy changing. So I envision they need to rejig quite a lot as part of their strategy to see how they take advantage of the boosted model. But overall, if you haven't already, make sure you're getting in there and doing it. Otherwise, your Ohm's just sitting there doing nothing when it could be totally degenning it at 40% APR for 4 years locked away. But not financial advice. David, thoughts?
No, I agree with everything you say, Fez.
That's what I love, a yes man. Okay, Karma DAO. Oh, okay, so a bit of bad, sad news. I didn't actually think this was bad. They've identified something and they've just decided to delay the protocol till middle of August. No biggie in my eyes, personally. Although, David, the critique in me, I don't... My understanding of the way the bond stuff work with some of the other protocols is they will only issue a certain amount of bonds up to a certain point based on the price. So this feature that they're adding, I thought it was standard. But again, I don't claim to understand a lot of this stuff as well as the teams, well, anywhere as close to the teams that are actually building it. So they would know best. Overall, this is a month delay? I don't see this that bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's too long either. Good. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. To be honest, I didn't expect them to launch anytime soon.
Oh, really?
For some reason, I've just put up all my launch expectations, whenever they're ready. I'm not even going to look at a date anymore these days. So, and I think I was thinking about this the other day, what happens in crypto and building these projects all the time is like the opposite of what happens in the real world. Like in the real world, you would build something, I'd say, you would test it, you would have a version 1, then you would go out and publicly promote your logo, your brand name, and your product. And you would try to get your first users to leave reviews. But in crypto, it's just the other way around. The first thing you do is promote your logo and your brand name and start building a community around essentially nothing. Then you start building, and then you have this beautiful image, logo, brand name, social media channels, through which you're going to update your community on your development progress. But, if those updates just so happen to be delays, then that, and this is not just Karma Finance, I don't think they've ever delayed anything. This is the first time that they've had any message of the sorts, and it is if it's delayed into mid-August, what are we talking about? That's 2 weeks. So I didn't even realize it was a delay. But it's the same with, a lot of projects in crypto. They launch with an idea, a brand name, a nice logo, maybe some artist renders of platforms, and people are just like, yeah, okay, when? And then,
we're the complete opposite because they're justifying money, etc. But agree.
It makes sense that it happens this way, of course. Like, it's hard to do it the other way around, I would suspect, but it's why we see so much of it, and it's why we wouldn't see. I don't know if you still watch regular television down under, or you might see YouTube ads pop by for products. Can you imagine, seeing like a coffee machine being advertised on YouTube, and then you go to that website and it says, yeah, you can't actually order this because we're fixing the heating coil issue, so it's going to be another 7 weeks before you can order. but yeah, we are actually advertising worldwide.
But come back, it's really going to happen. Yeah.
Join our Discord.
Yeah, that's great. Okay,
keep spinning the wheel.
Yes, one more. I think we just may have to keep moving these along. Otherwise, we're giving too much away. People will skip to the end. So, cool. No, bro.
What's our next news?
No, bro is out. Okay, remove.
We can spin a couple while we talk about the next news.
Yeah. We'll come back to this. Where are we? Karma. The next up. While we're talking about karma, and here's a great example. So, Framed. We do like to talk about Frame, David. A team that just keeps shipping. Before their team that is the opposite. They talk about the product and it's magically shipped, and then everyone's learning about it. But enough of that. Another partnership. They partnered with Karma Finance. This is actually I have the article up here as well. So we can see that there's going to start off with 32 NFTs, certain type. But what's really cool is the NFTs will default part of, the Frame collection, the reselling, the staking, the Learn Frame tokens, all that jazz. But I swear I saw in here that the actual NFTs will be receiving a share of profits from Karma Finance. Now that is cool. And because Karma Finance is going to be the issuing bonds to get back protocol-owned liquidity and then a reserve currency as well. So I'm very intrigued to see how these NFTs are utilized in that profit share kind of way. What are your thoughts on this announcement?
Oh, I think it's exciting. I did a little thread on it as I read this announcement. I had missed this because if you go all the way up, this announcement, I think it's dated 19th, which is like 7 days ago, 21st, which is 5 days ago. So I kind of missed it. And then when I read back, I read up on it and I realized the utility, so the profit sharing owners of the Karma DAO NFTs will get their share of the platform profits, which is an interesting way of adding utility to an NFT, which belongs to a DeFi protocol, because this is something on Icon, something relatively new that we're seeing. When I was on Uniswap V3, when they had just released their concentrated liquidity functionality, you would get an NFT of your settings. So I would be in a certain pool and I would set my range, my liquidity range. Yeah. And after I'd done so and paid an arm and a leg in Ethereum fees, I was also issued a generated NFT of my settings, essentially my curve, my liquidity curve there. But
I didn't know that. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, but that didn't do anything.
No.
But that's the first time I realized.
Right? Basically.
Yeah. I think, and it moved around a bit, and I thought, that's a DeFi platform issuing NFTs for you doing stuff, and maybe in 200,000 years it'll be worth a lot of money. So let's hang on to it for my grandchildren. But nothing there. And now we're seeing that if you get one of these Karma ones, you're going to get a part of the profits that they make. which is definitely a reason to just keep an eye on it. Even though I don't know the details of the platform yet, I don't know if you could, because I'm assuming Karma would issue their token, which you could probably stake to get part of the platform fees and governance. Although,
All
those
speculation.
details, yeah, all speculation. Those details have not been released as of now. But in this case, that if you get one of these NFTs, which will start being auctioned off in August, one by one, week by week, or bi-weekly, you'll share in profits from the Karma platform, and of course you're a part of the Framed ecosystem, which means that you're going to get Framed tokens as well. And people who stake their Framed tokens in Framed get Icon node rewards, their share of it, and they get their share of the resale of NFTs that have originated from the Framed ecosystem. In other words, for example, the Yeti Strong Club, if those Yetis start, they will sell out eventually. And once they start changing hands in the future, a large chunk of the resale value actually goes back to the stakers of the Framed token, which is another exchange of value there.
Yeah. So and you start to see the value prop here, right? So we've got Framed with 16-bit Fight Club, their own collection. As I hinted earlier, their Yetis will play a part maybe in their TCG collection that they got going on. Then we've got Karma Finance that have partnered up here with their 32 NFTs for the moment. A profit share, something's going to be worked into it. Now, these NFTs themselves will also own you frame tokens on the actual initial sale, and then given what utility they have, we could see demand. We could or can't, don't know, not financial advice, but that it becomes more lucrative, and indirectly everything that happens, demand kicks off for these NFTs, frame holders, stakers are benefiting from it because the resale values are coming straight back to the stakers. So it's pretty cool. The system is starting to show some of the stuff they envisioned. Now, on that note, just quickly, let's skip to if you. I'm sorry, I know this text will be small, but if I try to make it bigger, then it screens out. So we'll try it here. But essentially, they've updated. The frame model for it to be successful relies. They've got a node, and part of the rewards goes to the distribution of the frame token is to the voters, etc. And the way they split their rewards is goes to the voters. Majority of it, 50% of it, goes into the protocol owned liquidity. So in this case, they're not incentivizing you to go and add liquidity on balance. They're taking care of it themselves via the node reward. So every day, every week, whenever they top it up, it keeps getting bigger and bigger, which is great because no one will withdraw and it should see the price stabilize, blah, blah, blah. I'll stop there. But one of the other aspects, as we know, for the node operators now, for the validators, is as you start climbing the ranks, you need to bond ICX. Now, what is that? You gotta, if you have, I had a site, I didn't have it open, but if you have like 2 million, 8 million ICX voted to your node, you need to put up to 5%, basically 5% bond on top to the node so that you get the max reward, you get the rate that you should be rewarded where you sit as a validator. So in this case, now obviously they've got quite a lot of votes but don't have the bond, so they put it out there asking if there's anyone there. And I really encourage, if there are whales out there, this is some way to work with different, not just Frame, I'm talking like check in with some of the node operators if they require bonding and what perks they're going to give you if you do bond your ICX rather than voting for them. So Node for now, Framed is offering something there. They're going to be, subsidizing a little bit of their node rewards to the bond, and they've also asked if there's anyone out there who's looking, they'll reward them with Frame tokens. Or, I mean, it's up to you. If you have that kind of bond that they need and you want to help and partake and get additional rewards, etc., reach out to the team, and that's what this update's about. David, any thoughts?
My thoughts are that it's smart of them to make sure that they post the maximum bond because it maximizes their icon node rewards. And if they wouldn't do that, then that's basically, for the framed ecosystem, they're just leaving free money lay around, because it'll go elsewhere to other nodes that don't even have the votes. What happens with the icon inflation that doesn't go to the designated designated validator, because that validator hasn't posted his or her bond? Does that get redistributed?
Yes. So it's
Yeah.
It basically, so they'll get, the people who have that 5% more will earn more rewards. So if the other people start putting their bond to max, then the rewards will distribute accordingly.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cool. Then the next bit, while we're on framed, we haven't had a show. We need to cover. I don't know if we'll get time. I reckon we should do a separate snow episode to do a bit of a debrief. But
yeah, definitely.
This was a cool partnership with the Yeti. Look at it. The Yeti is the official partner. It was a great idea to kind of get a community rallying behind, and what better than an NFT community rallying behind a new chain that happens to be called Snow, with Yetis who live in the snow. So they do live in the snow, right? Yeah, they're snow brown creatures, I'm pretty
Definitely,
sure. Yeah, cool. Oh, thank God they're not summer creatures. Okay, so this was a cool partnership as well, and I'm sure there's more in the works. There was an animated video from memory as well, so if you haven't already, check it out. Although, while we're here, Snow crowdloan postponed. Make sure, I think we'll touch on this, make sure that if this is the first bit of news you're capturing about Snow and Icon, and you're like, oh my God, I have to throw my Kusama tokens into the crowdloan, do not go for the current crowdloan. That will just die a natural death and close out, and everyone will get their KSM back. A snapshot has been taken at the time of the announcement to reward everyone who did originally participate to the time that that announcement came out, where they'll get extra Snow tokens as a thank you. But overall, yep, a bit of a delay there. There is so much to debrief on that, and that itself is an episode. So let's see how we go towards the end, if we can talk about it. But I think maybe, David, what we'll do is let's do a mini episode, 20-minute episode, where we just talk Snow. But in the meantime, I believe the team is appointed. They may have already had this by the time this episode comes out, but there is an AMA coming in the Discord. I've got the team lined up for a crypto setups podcast, not on Icon, sorry, but I thought it would be great to get them on crypto setups and talk about why they chose Substrate and their adventure of building a blockchain using the different Substrate palettes and the Polkadot ecosystem, and kind of like an eye-opener from a basics point of view. So when I publish that, I'll obviously share it around with Iron Icon as well, because it is relevant if you want to know about the ecosystem and why the builders have chosen to build there. And I shall now breathe. David?
I like that you're having them on the Crypto Setups podcast, and I do think we should talk much more about this, because it's such an exciting project, and it's such a shame that the original crowdloan, it went flying.
Oh, huge, wasn't it? I didn't expect it. Bang.
I was like, wow, this is going so well. This is great news. And then, because of a configuration issue, the settings weren't correct for it. So in hindsight, it would, even though it went flying, it would have never have won, because apparently, if you go in with the wrong configuration, essentially you're not competitive to the other crowdloans. So they've had to essentially abandon it and reschedule for a new one. Luckily, everyone's going to have their KSM back, so I can only hope that we go for another flying start, and hopefully by then, even more people decide to join. And at the beginning of this episode, you showed the Kusama markets, and if that price keeps dipping, I might grab myself another Kusama token,
Yes.
See, that went wildly from around the 48, 46, and then it went all the way up to nearly 70. And this is all in the past like 3 or 4 weeks, and now it's back down again to 56. Like, if that dips below, what shall we say, 50, I might be looking at getting another one of them.
Well,
and bringing it into the Snow crowd loan in a couple of weeks' time.
that line there was snow FOMO. That's what I call it. I don't care. Really,
Yeah.
everyone know that this kind of apparently some one of the other existing parachains started to
I think
basically yes,
Heiko. Yeah, because if you go to parachains.info, you can actually see the auction results, and you can see that the Heiko parachain went from like 900 contributed kusama to like thousands of contributed kusama, if not 10,000 and more. So I can only imagine that they dipped, because they're an existing parachain with another parachain on Polkadot. So I can only imagine they just dipped into their own pockets
yeah.
to get their bids sorted, which is something that also happens in this ecosystem. And yeah, the price action was wild.
And look, yes, it was, and this is where very quickly the one thing, David, you touched on, and why this crowd loan, the current one, becomes ineffective is because the current leasing period is just one term, which is 6 weeks, whereas the normal leasing period is 8 terms. Correct, David? Which is
Yes.
48 weeks
This is for a parachain
for
to be
parrot.
plugged in to
Yep.
the Kusama ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's called a lease period.
Yeah. So based on depending on which option you pick, when the auction ends, to determine the winner, it timeses the amount of Kusama you have by the lease period. So, even though we're off to a flying start, because we only had that one lease period, it would have just timesed it by one. So, even if we got 15,000 KSM, would have timesed it by one. However, if we had the right leasing period in there, and I know, I can already hear people, oh, how did we get something so wrong? Uh, you know, crypto is, I like to, people say it's the Wild Wild West. It is the Wild Wild West in every way. Everyone is learning to do, and there's quirks and things around ecosystems. But enough about that. So you get, when the auction ends, in our case, 15,000 times one, well, it's the same. However, if it was the 8 term, it would have been times 8. And then the winner would have been determined for the who won the auction slot. So you can see over here, based on that timesing and the lease period of how much it times your allocation at the end, that makes a huge difference to the success of the crowd loan. Hence, the strategy, hence the current one has no chance. But on the flip side, the team, and we're touching on this a bit too much, but very quickly, on the flip side, there was a lot of communication in the back happening with the team because their team are also trying to plan out what auction cycle period is the best and easiest for them to win and take out. Because, as David called it, Heiko and a few other parachains that have been in existence from the start will probably, it's coming time for them to renew. They already have their bags where they just mass and lock themselves and put themselves in a winning position, and we don't want to find ourselves competing with those kind of parachains. So in case y'all are wondering why was the team announcing a few things and then obviously listen to community feedback and sentiment and made change a few plans, but a lot of their driving factors were around this. The goal is to secure that parachain slot, and what put us in the best position to do that, essentially. Okay. Shall we keep moving?
Let's do it. If you could spin the wheel as well.
Oh, yes, the wheel. Just for everyone, we haven't been reading out names, so if you're watching the episode, you'll probably see it. But let's keep going. David, I'll get you to talk through the next bit of news because it's Gangstabet related. Now, I actually found. Have we covered the Emerald City zones, David? Did we cover this?
No, we haven't gone through the Medium article in which Gangstabet actually highlights their new Emerald City and the different types of zones and subzones that are to be found in this city. We did talk about the bribe token NFTs last week.
Yep.
These NFTs would allow users who mint city zones to choose which city zone they get. See, for any regular user like myself, if I would have enough crown tokens to mint a city zone, it would be a bit of a lottery which one I would get. No one even seems to know which ones would be more valuable than the other ones. But if you participated in Gangstabet competitions in the past couple of weeks, I think you could win the bribe tokens. And what these do is they allow you to choose which zone you mint. Now, if you haven't participated, you're like me, and it's okay. If I would have a bribe token, I would probably pick the wrong zone anyways and mint something that is least popular by accident. So I'm not too worried about it. But I think the key takeaway here is that the Emerald City is laid out, it's planned out, and the real news here is that Gangstabet has announced the crown airdrop snapshot date. Now, before we get an army of users asking, where's my airdrop? I'm owed an airdrop and you owe me free money. This is not the airdrop that's being announced. It's the snapshot. 5th of August at 1 minute to 12 p.m. PST, the good people at Gangstabet, they're going to take a snapshot of their user base and have a look at how much gangsters have been leveled up over the past, whenever since they launched. And the higher level a gangster is, the more crown this gangster or the user owning this gangster will receive. So if you have a gangster that is still level 0, has never been leveled up, you get 0 crown. If you have a gangster that's leveled up all the way to 500 skill level, they call it level 10 plus, you will get 17,500 crown. And this crown token is the currency in the Emerald City. You need this crown token to mint the land zones. You'll need this crown token to communicate with other cities on other blockchains. It's essentially the token powering the Gangstaverse. So just to make it clear, we have the Gangstabet token. This token has one goal and one goal only, and it's to upgrade Gangstabet NFTs, their skill levels. I think you can add stories to their profiles. You can change their names. The Gangstabet token has a quite limited supply. Every gangster generates 12 Gangstabet token a day, and you can use it for just that. And then the crown token is the important one these days. That's going to kind of lube the Gangstaverse economy, and they're going to airdrop a bunch of them to the users who have the gangsters that are level 10 or 10 plus. So that's the news. And the snapshot will be this 5th of August. And what I would probably see happening is a lot of people upgrading their gangsters running up towards the 5th of August. And in doing so, a lot of Gangstabet token will get burned. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic. And it all together, it just shows the progress, that the team is making on this particular project. I really like it.
Yep. I think it's great. I can't sacrifice my G-bet. Then that leads into this next announcement, introducing Forex. Look, David, you've been really keeping up with all the news. Thoughts on this?
The Forex is interesting because it pulls into the equation the Sapphire City, which is going to be the next Gangstaverse city, and it's going to live on the Polygon blockchain. What's interesting is they're already going to allow you to kind of lay your hand on Polygon Sapphire City land, and the way that you do that, or sorry, not land, but NFTs. This could represent a Polygon Sapphire City land or a gangster. I'm not entirely sure. The way you do it is you lock your crown token. If you would scroll up a wee bit in this announcement, there's numbers mentioned here. So you lock up a bunch of crown tokens. It's going to be a set amount that will give you one NFT on the Sapphire City on Polygon. Obviously, all of this still in development. And it says here 50% of those tokens will be returned to you after the 1 year. 20% will go somewhere, 10% will get burned. There's a whole system.
Yeah.
But what it does is
Yeah, 50% gets returned, 20% will get burned, 10% will go to the bank. What bank? Don't know. The remaining 20% will go to dev and marketing team. Again, I'm a bit lost about that. We're talking about crown tokens, but obviously there's a bigger plan for the token.
This incentive. So what's going to happen now is we're going to have a snapshot. A lot of people are going to have a lot of allocated crown token. A lot of people have been saving crown by providing liquidity and whatnot for the past year or so. So all this crown, I think, is going to get dropped onto the market in one go. And this is a mechanism devised by the team to kind of take a lot of it out of circulation without it being dumped. So if people like where this is going, if they trust the team, if they like the developments and think it's all amazing, this might be a very slick way to get your hands on some future NFTs on the Polygon network, because this Gangstaverse is just going to start expanding, and it might be a lot more expensive in the future to get what you can get now for 50%. For a certain amount of crown tokens, right? So a couple of things could happen. Everyone gets their crown token. People can start buying land in the Emerald City. People can start buying future NFTs for the Sapphire City and locking up their crown. People can start putting their crown in liquidity pools. People can start selling it off, or people can start accumulating. There's a lot of utility revolving around this token. But the fact remains that a lot of this token will be basically distributed into the market in one go, is my expectation. So it will be interesting to see how the users behave. Like, are all these users long-term Gangstabet believers, which I kind of feel like they are. So it wouldn't surprise me if a majority of the tokens get locked back up in the ecosystem or gets used to buy land or other surprises in the Gangstaverse, because, the imagination runs wild with things that you could use crown for in a metaverse. Essentially, it could be anything.
Yep, agree. Look, a lot of exciting stuff. I've been very... I love Gangstabet, and in my eyes now, as I keep seeing more stuff, Forex, I kind of want the metaverse to launch. I kind of want to see it. I don't know. I just am getting to that point. But, David, you made an excellent point. I didn't think that at the moment the crown hasn't been distributed, hasn't unlocked. People don't have it where they can just run and cash it out. So this is actually extremely smart. I'm very keen to understand exactly how many NFTs and what kind of winning ratios there would be, because if everyone runs off and locks and they're just giving away 2 NFTs and you're on a list that you may never get to the end of, I am being a pessimist and being worst case scenario. I totally get it. That is just not the case though when it comes to the team and stuff. Like, they've gone from an NFT collection to a massive metaverse to multi-chain to... But again, NFTs exist. Everything else hasn't come about. So I want to see some of that other stuff come to fruition and then look and hopefully... So it's great. Crown gets locked up. I really hope the metaverse gets delivered, running on Icon. And then all the other stuff starts to go bananas. Don't care. It's just awesome for Gangstabet, but kind of want to see the metaverse. I want to go in there. I want to do my thing. I want to, I don't know, look at my low-level zero gangsters that just, walk out in the street and they feel the sunlight and go, it's too much, and run back in the room because I haven't leveled them up to number 10s. But
you're gonna have to buy a room, Fez.
One of the land things. I just need a room they can all chill out in there. But look, I've given a very rounded bit of back and forth, but sensational thing. I really like this. Thanks for bringing that up. I didn't even think along those lines, David. Great way to lock up. I would love the team. Actually, they need to come on the show. That's it. I'm going to them and going, it's about time they come on the show. Stuff's progressed. There's a lot happening. Give more context. Cool. Moving on. Ooh.
Yes, Inanis Invictus. Am I saying that right? I feel like I need to go like Latin and say like Inanis Invictus on this one. Don't know what.
Wrong guy about pronunciations. I'm known for butchering words, not getting them right.
Well, you read it then.
No, never. Don't you dare trap me like that. Look, this is coming out August 19th. There's a ton of promos going on, and I was keen to get Brandon on the show, and I am going to get him before this launches, but I fear, David, it'll have to wait till after Korean Blockchain Week for this to happen, just with everything between now and when we are meant to be flying across. So stay tuned. But overall, David, do you want to give a quick summary of what this is? And it's launching on the 19th of August?
So it's an NFT game that is similar in looks, from what I get, to Project Nebula. And I say this because if you go to the website, which you're doing, you're seeing these spaceships against these galactic backdrops. If you go up, you can actually see, and down again to where it says engaging gameplay, you can see these hexagonal, if you could go further down, there, and go, oh my goodness.
Sorry, everyone. Yes, gameplay, there we go.
You can see that hexagonal backdrop there, which is what Project Nebula employs to venture through. Now, I was thinking, is this the same thing? But it's not, because I did hit browse rules. And what this game is after is actually player versus player battling, which is a whole different dynamic. And there's a lot of rules to it. What I also must note is that the launch isn't until much later. It launches in 3 phases, and we're getting the launch of phase 1 on the 19th of August. And phase 1 is a pack of initial NFTs, I believe, but not the entire game as it is envisioned. But the roadmap that they provide is really good and active. Like it's actually unbelievable. You can see, right here, you can see all those green sections done, sorted, bang, 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 in progress. Very impressive. So what they're working forward to is kind of like what you would call, would it be a beta launch, where you put out your initial unfinished product as you're working in the background to finalize completion. And the reason it happens this way is because it's just such a big project. And I know they went for CPS funding. They didn't get it and said, well, look, we're building this anyway, so thanks for nothing. We're going to build this. So I think that shows character in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think in the end they got it.
They did?
Yeah, I think. And one of the beauties of this project is a percentage of their initial NFTs will actually, the sales will go back to CPS. And I know of a few projects that now are looking to do this, especially ones that have taken money from CPS or gotten money to give back, and they're including this, which is a great practice. So that's one. Two, I know we're not doing this justice, because as time goes on, it's very hard to stay up to date with everything in detail. So overall, though, we'll get Brendan on the show to talk about his baby and talk about where the inspiration came from, how it works. But to David's point, the website is full of stuff. My God, I haven't checked this out for a while. It's got roadmap, token info, game rules, marketplace, you name it. It's even got a Connect wallet, which I haven't connected yet. But if you haven't already, the tagline is tabletop gaming meets NFT digital collectibles. So that itself is interesting. So let's get him on the show and talk about it. But August 19th, and you can already see it's promo times. They're giving away stuff. You know, your standard promo, tag 3 people, retweet it, run to your neighbors, knock on their door, show them the tweet, and make sure they do the same. That is how you get new community members, people. Run to your neighbors. Now, next up, what's next? The Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. The winning wheel. We're down to 3. Actually, we're down to 2. This is it. This is the winner. If you're wondering what's happened, if you're listening to the podcast and watching it, you've probably seen me spinning the wheel in the background. Here we are. This is it. Moment of truth.
Buddha versus Air Up There one. So you can spin it now, and the person, the user that gets landed on is out, and the other person wins the Project Nebula NFT pack.
David, over there in your end of town, did they used to have that show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
They did.
Yeah. And did they always, like, you know, before they get the answer, and the answer is, you'll find out after this ad?
Indeed.
But we don't have ads. If only we had a sponsorship message, you know. There we go. What a perfect slide in. Anyway, Okay, we're spinning. We're spinning. Oh my god. It's... Oh, I tell you what. Do you want to break the news, David, or should I?
Um,
You do it. Who won?
Unfortunately, Buddha's out, and Air Up There One is the remaining winner on the wheel of misfortune, the actual only winner. So Air Up There One is going to get the Project Nebula NFT pack, courtesy of the Ohm Monks. And if you want to win any such packs or any other NFTs out there, Claws NFTs, I've seen more on the list, but I forget the names right now. You have to engage with the Ohm community on Discord and Twitter, I guess.
Yeah, there's still
Yetis,
ton. There's
Monks, collaboration NFTs. It's all there.
Tamashi, we've got Peel Guys, Pink Punks, we got what have we got? Rage Pups. Oh, a few more Project Nebulas, Yetis, Claws. My goodness, we really need to sneak our name on there, David. It's only fair. Okay, next up, Project Nebula. Hey, we did not cover this, but if you haven't been paying Project Nebula for a long time, the UI, it's been completely updated and made snazzy, although I do have a little bit of feedback that I want to pass on to the team. But overall, it looks new. Like, every part of it just sticks up with vibrant colors. It's great. I love it. But on to the news. They are launching their Zone Control Stage 6 because a lot of the game has evolved. If you're out there looking for planets, you're probably not going to find any. I think there's only 8 left in the first collection. There's a site that monitors this, some stat site, got to find it. But part of it is the zones, and you get all this stuff. I'm not really keeping up with it, but a new zone stage has launched, a control stage. I didn't know this, David, but you have to be in a certain sector to play with the zones. I was just flying around in no man's land because our guild are the Guild of Floaters, the Iron Icon Guild of Floaters, and naturally we float. But I didn't realize we had to float in certain areas. That defeats the point of floating. So, unfortunately, we never seem to win this. But
True.
if you're really into, want to win stuff, and what have they got? Some blueprints, and you'll also receive a rare planet. There you go. So there's quite a lot up for grabs, so get in there. I'm sorry, Iron Icon Guilders, we're not very organized on the counter floating, but everyone else, now's the time. Tune back in, earn some free stuff. Now, the best for last. I cannot believe it. Before BTP has launched, MTP. My God. And
the meme transmission protocol. It transmits memes through Discord servers through a mechanism where you respond to other people's comments in Discord by picking the iDog logo as an emoji. And the more responses people get, the more iDog tokens they get assigned to their Discord ID. And when you're ready, you can cash these out. You just link up an ICX address, I believe, and you get paid for your funny comments, for your memes in iDog token, and it's called MTP, which is would it have anything to do with BTP?
I don't know. Does it? Has he actually leapfrogged BTP and beat them in their own game?
I don't know. I think it's just a coincidence. The meme transmission protocol. Yeah, that's what that is.
So we're going to get Paul on the show and talk through it. But this is quite cool. Remember, it is a meme, everyone. It is a meme. You're not going to make money, but, it's a bit of fun on Icon. What I like about this is it's a cool way of distributing the token, a meme token that's worth nothing. But at the same time, what David just said, you do a bit of this and you claim, and it is indirectly creating transactions on Icon, getting a bit of use. Moving the wheels, keeping things moving during the bear market. What a way to do it. It's great. I have seen, I know there's in Studio Mario, they do a Koto token or something. What is it?
Koto.
But I don't think, so that's not on the blockchain. That's just within Discord, a Discord token. Maybe they'll hook it up to the chain and distribute it. But in this case, MTP iDoge is actually distributing in the Discord servers, and many Discord servers can take part of it. You just need to reach out to Paul, I believe, and get hooked up to MTP. That's the whole point of MTP. And you're going to get the token on chain when you decide to claim it. So that's pretty cool. Just to be super clear, because Studio Mirai, they'll get up in arms. I am not dissing Studio Mirai and their token or anything like that. I'm just giving context, everyone. Calm down, Studio Mirai, in case everyone gets... I love y'all. And yeah, cool. So that's that. Oh, look, 16-bit Fight Club. Okay, we've got the winner. That's MTP. Have we covered everything?
I'd say so. Well done. Are we within time?
We're slightly over. Yeah, great. Look, as always, not financial advice. Do your own research. We're just a couple of guys dishing the ecosystem news because we want everyone to know opportunities and know everything going on in Icon. Until next time, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're following Iron Icon. Make sure you're following Monks Academy so that you can figure out how to get into the competition and win these insane NFTs that also going to have utility, I believe. Is that alpha? I think they already have utility.
I think you're dropping alpha.
Existing news, just rehashing it again as alpha. Yes. Any closing words, David?
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care.